guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that big Mamma Jamma from GMC that's getting some big changes. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 GMC Yukon AT4, but guess what? You read the badge, this is the first ever AT4 Ultimate trim. But before we get into this mega size, mega luxury off-road SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So just like the sister brand Chevrolet with the Tahoe and the Suburban, GMC is bringing updates to the Yukon lineup. Now, I've always been a big fan of GMC vehicles because the style, the amenities on the interior, and of course their technology really sets them apart from the rest of the pack. And when it comes to a full-size SUV, Yukon really is a great way to go. Now for 2025, like I said, they brought a lot of big changes to their big SUV, but they also brought an AT4 Ultimate, which we are lucky enough to have. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the best of the best, do you go AT4 Ultimate? And is it worth the price at the end of the day? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, all new color. It's called Midnight Pine. And when I saw this color in the studio when we first filmed this vehicle, I really didn't like it, but outside in the Florida sun, it looks fantastic. At the front of the business, you'll see our updated headlight design, still that C-shaped signature design, LED triple stack headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and your turn signals nicely nestled in that headlight housing. Dropping our way down, we do have some gloss black, which is a little confusing to have on an off-road trim, but I do love the way we have LED fog lamps. Now with this vehicle, we do have adaptive air ride suspension, and the ultimate trim of the AT4 gets the magnetic ride suspension as well. And with this setup, this actually sits 2 inches higher, so you could get 10 inches of ground clearance underneath this beast. But let me know what you think about the style with the headlight, and let me know if you're gonna zonk the gloss black. Now, as we come across that GMC professional grade grille, I love the way we have the dark aluminum accents, the GMC badge with that classic red color, forward-facing camera, and then working our way down a little bit, you'll see a little bit of more gloss black. And then I don't know why they picked this shinier aluminum trim. They should have went with what they did on the grille with the darker shade. Of course, you're gonna have two bright red powder coated recovery tow hooks. And underneath here, that's a stamped steel skid plate all the way back to protect the oil pan, the fuel tank, all those goodies while you are off-roading. And then we can't forget at the end of the day, the little cherry on top is that you have an AT4 badge. So you can still get your regular AT4, which is that off-road trim of the Yukon, but this one brings it to another level now that we have the ultimate AT4. But let me know, like I said, what you think about the front of this thing. I love the look of the GMC Yukon. Now, as we rise up, still the same hood as previous model year. You got a little bit of gloss black along the edge. Nice indentations, gives it a bold appearance. And then as we come around the bend, no, we don't have the 24-inch wheels that you get on the Denali Ultimate. Because this is the off-road spec, you're getting 20-inch wheels. Machined aluminum with that carbon flash metallic paint. Off-road tires, you'll notice we have the real deal Goodyear, Wrangler, Territory all-terrain tires with the shielding. And what's great about this is that they're good to drive on the road, but they're also going to give you some better sort of grip when you're going off-road. But if you're wondering, well, what's the size of the tires? All four corners, 275 on the width, 60 series sidewall, and of course we have standard four-wheel drive. Now I'm going to have Steven kind of zoom in and show you the top of the control arm here, our adaptive air suspension with the magnetic ride setup. Lots of technology there that's going to make sure that you have the right amount of damping at all four corners, no matter what the road is doing underneath you. But let me know what you think about the wheels with our midnight pine color. Love the way there's no flat black. Thank you, GMC, for not giving us a bunch of flat black plastic. Now coming down the side, you do have the GMC badge. Would have been nice if it said Ultimate right underneath it, and I like the dark aluminum finish. AT4 badge, very prominently displayed. You do have some midnight pine on the mirror caps, 360-degree cameras, and you'll also notice we do have our automatic dropping running boards. Those are great, help everybody get in, and then they just kind of tuck nice and high out of the way. Color matched on the door handles. You do have gloss black roof rails, and you can get the crossbars. You want to put Aunt Edna up on the roof? You could do that with a cargo basket. Once she shuts her trap, put her right up there. Keep working our way towards the rear. Everything else is the same from the side, basically. Nice large quarter window. You got your GMC name badge in the new taillights, and just like up front, it's all LED. Clean as a whistle. The wipers tucked underneath that long roof spoiler. You got a little bit more of that dark aluminum trim. The GMC name, Yukon AT4. And then working our way down the ground level, look at that quad tip exhaust. It looks like it came right off a C8 Stingray, staggered tip, stainless steel. And of course, this cover is removable because we could tow up to 8,200 pounds with this Yukon. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's gonna be powering the whole show. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts, of course, underneath the hood. You still get your 3 engine choices. This one has your 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to that 10-speed automatic transmission with 4-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. You could tow 8,200 pounds. MPGs, 14 in the city, 18 on the highway, and the vehicle, it weighs in at 5,868 pounds. So nice to be able to have that naturally aspirated V8 power, plenty of towing capability, and then of course the off-road capability has been turned up a notch. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what that V8 sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 GMC Yukon AT4 Ultimate. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, lay it on me. I know it's not going to be cheap, but just pull the Band-Aid off. How much is it? MSRP for this AT4 Ultimate is $102,000. Quite a bit of money, but hey, what large SUV doesn't seem to be at least $100,000, if not more? But let's see if GMC brings something extra special with this Ultimate trim to the door panels. Love the materials. Contrast stitching, white up top, all soft touch, real open pore, dark stained wood, armrest soft touch with the red contrast stitching. We have the GMC Twinkie off-road holder, 8 Twinkies. And then down below, you could easily get that foot-long meatball sub, extra parm. Tell them to throw in an extra ball for you, an extra meatball. And you could put a bottle of root beer in there. We got the Bose sound system, 21 speakers with the aluminum speaker grill cover. Going from the door panel to the dash, more of that great stitching, the open pore wood. You'll notice on the side, the AT4 Ultimate badge. Stitching, you open this up, it's all felt lining, so you could put up to 2 Rolexes, maybe 3, if you're lucky enough to have 3 Rolexes. Keep them in there. And if you're wondering why did they do it this way, this is new. They actually lowered this portion of the dash to help the front seat passenger see out the windshield instead of everything being real high. Love the way it's got all the soft touch materials. You got, of course, a place for some granola bars, maybe some kudos bars. And then slide on in, kudos to GMC. You got a 16.8-inch portrait-style infotainment system. I like the way it's mounted in here. Easy to get to, nice clean design. Of course, you got your full Google suite of the apps, the maps, camera angles out the wazoo, and the resolution is better than most people's iPhones. That's for sure. You could go ahead and see the rest of all of the different functions and apps. You could adjust your AC, love the colors. Like I said, the graphics. We also have, are you ready for this? Massage seating for the front people, driver and passenger. You got wave, you got all the different setups in here that you want to go. So you could be getting a massage and off-roading all at the same time. And then, like I said, the rest of the apps are all everything that you're used to and that you're familiar with, but very, very intuitive. We have our electric shifter on the column for the 10-speed automatic, bright silver start-stop button. This is the ultimate trim. I like the toggle switches for our AC control, real volume knob. And then, of course, we're going to have 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, heated steering wheel, goes without saying. The place where I got to zonk it is here. Why is there all this gloss black? This should be all the dark wood. But the good news is most people are going to do this. They're going to open that. They're going to open that. Wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, 2 cup holders. Love the way they did the leather with the AT4 Ultimate badge. You got your dual stitching. And then watch this. This is a fun little party trick that you could showcase to everybody, is you're able to actually move the center console. So you can move that back, and then you got a nice little extra work area. You got a little kind of drawer here where you could, maybe hide things, maybe things you don't want anybody to see. Those things that could get you in trouble with the law, you could put those in there. I'll leave that up to your imagination. I think your imagination will probably help you figure out what to put in there. But I'm not done yet. Look at this. Open it up. You got enough room in here. Easily can fit, I would say, 8 collector's He-Man figurines, action figures. And here's the thing, when it comes to toys, collecting toys, the ones that were made to be collector's items, you know how they said like collector's edition? Those are the ones that are not worth much. And if you're wondering why, it's because people held on to those. It's all the other stuff that they threw out that's worth a lot of money. Just so you know. So if you see something limited edition, don't buy it and hold on to it. It's not going to be worth anything. It's the stuff that is everyday normal that people throw out. Seats, the upgraded leather, the stitching. Look at the speakers and the freaking headrests. Love the AT4 Ultimate badge, the piping, full electric assist, of course, for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. We have that ginormous panoramic sunroof. And to top it off, there's a digital rear view mirror, very clear. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got standard Super Cruise and night vision I want to show you on the driver's side. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings. Love that AT4 Ultimate sill plate. And then, of course, we have a nice aluminum brake pedal and throttle. And then the GMC all-weather floor mats. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. There's all your seat controls, including the controls for your massage settings. I'm 6 feet tall, and I got plenty of room. If you need more room, I don't know what the heck you're going to drive. Maybe like a Mack truck. Steering wheel, the leather, standard Super Cruise. And then I love the way it's all flat black on the switchgear. You got your heated steering wheel. Love that GMC badge. A little bit of silver. We have paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down the 10-speed automatic. Would have been nice if those were metal, so I am going to zonk that. And you do have your 4x4 controls, easily accessible, power tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then you have that new 11-inch digital gauge cluster. Look at the way you could scroll through all this great information. Really, really love how easy that is. We're going to do the night vision. It's starting. Hopefully we can get to it before the end of the show. We do have, of course, on top of that, look at that. That's pretty freaking cool. We also have a massive head-up display as well. So lots of technology inside this AT4 Ultimate. Let's get in the mid-row and third row and see if it is just as good for them as it was for you. All right, guys, mid-row and third row time. And I'm telling you right now, when you go Ultimate, everybody is getting Ultimate seating, the stitching, the red and white, the perforations, the piping. Look at this captain's chair armrest. This is how you get it done, and GMC knows how to do it right. Backs of the seats in front of you, you do have 2 over 12-inch screens you could get onto YouTube. You could obviously have all your other things with Hulu, your HDMI ports, everything you can figure out. Plus, you can be the perfect backseat driver. So you can pull up that vehicle status, and then there you have your speedometer, the fuel range, all those goodies. And what's nice is it's got a solid feel for if you need to tilt it down for the shorter people in your family. Wireless headsets make sense so that the kids could keep their mouths shut. And I remember growing up, like, my dad used to say, like, if we were like whining or crying, he'd be like, shut up, or I'll give you something to cry about. He's a real sweetheart. Command center, the two cup holders. I like the way you got this 8-inch touchscreen with your dual climate control. Actually, not dual climate control, standard climate control, but you got your dual touchscreen areas to adjust your blower fan and your temp. 3 stages of heated seats. I wish they would figure out how to get ventilated seats in this thing. 2 USB-Cs, 2 HDMIs, and a home power source. Another thing I'm gonna zonk, besides no ventilated seats, is I wish we had some power sunshades in the Ultimate trim. Now the seats do slide, which is good. They do recline. And then on top of that, Steven didn't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go into the third row, and we're gonna do this all in one shot. So watch this. This goes down like that, and then it goes like that. And now I'm gonna slowly work our way into the third row area. Like I said, the same material, the piping. I have AC vents nicely placed, and USB-Cs, and they actually give you a little bit of a soft armrest, which is really nice. It's actually quite comfy back here. I mean, it is a Yukon. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that cargo area, because I want to go for a drive in this AT4 Ultimate. All right, guys, cargo area time. Now, the nice thing is I could actually double click and just open up the rear glass. This is good for getting that easy access stuff, so you don't have to open up the rear hatch. To open it up, we're just gonna click again, double click, and you get that door to swing on open, all power assist, of course. I mean, this is an Ultimate trim. Love the way everything is fully protected in here on the backs of the seats and the cargo floor. We have our switch gear to fold down our seats, and they drop freaking fast, man. Look how fast that is. There's those USB-Cs I was telling you about that both rear seat passengers get, and the nice soft armrests. Nice to see that kind of touch. Of course, the mid-row folds down, and that's where you have over 100 cubic feet of space. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than a Yukon. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle and see how this Yukon AT4 Ultimate gets it done. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 GMC Yukon AT4 Ultimate. Right away, one of my favorite things is just all the great cameras in this vehicle. I mean, the fact that you can get a camera angle wherever it's needed so easily. I mean, it just makes it totally straightforward to be able to get whatever information that you need. Of course, we have our camera out the front, and then you could position it any which way that you want. But the resolution is great. The fact that you could drive with it up is also great as well. Especially not only when you're going off-roading, but let's say you're trying to miss a curb or it's a tight fit. The cameras are gonna help you. They're gonna be your friend. I promise you that. We also have different drive modes. So here's our different drive modes: normal, sport, off-road, tow and haul. That's all we need. That's all you need. And then you're just gonna select whatever drive mode you want. So we're gonna go into sport, and that's gonna adjust how the transmission and the engine behave with one another, and also the steering sensitivity and throttle sensitivity as well. Like I was trying to explain earlier, you can adjust the screen to display all sorts of information, which is wonderful. And visibility is fantastic behind the wheel. But let's see how on throttle goes. Are you ready? Nobody's behind us, really? On throttle, here we go. Nice linear torque delivery from that 6.2 liter V8. The head-up display is a perfect size. And if you've never driven a large SUV like this, don't be afraid. With the technology and everything, it makes it very, very easy to navigate, even in high traffic situations. But the seats are so comfortable. Everything is so well laid out. And the fact that you could take this off-roading, or you could take it on-roading and do your daily commute driving is absolutely perfect. The other bit of news is that you do also get, of course, our adaptive cruise, which is another heaven sent when it comes to being able to drive and be comfortable, right? But it really does make sense just how easy it is to use Super Cruise. I mean, once it is activated, everything's green. You can see how that's all set up. It'll brake and speed up according to the traffic around us. And you could make easy work of any stressful commute. One of the best autonomous hands-free driving systems in the industry, and the fact that it comes standard is really, really nice. We could add some speed, but it's so intuitive to use. Once you turn on your adaptive cruise, then to turn on Super Cruise, it's a piece of cake. I mean, look at this, it's changing lanes by itself. It's then speeding up to the set speed. And it's a very smooth action. It's so impressive what you're able to do with this system. And then, you know, I could show you other things going on, like our cameras. Look at that camera quality. Going to different modes if I want to. Really, really nice how versatile and how much great technology is in this AT4 Ultimate. And then to shut it off, it's real simple. You just turn it off, and then you're back in command. I could go ahead and bring up my navigation, have that on the 11-inch display, and you have that new night vision, which is fantastic. But with the magnetic ride suspension, the adaptive air ride suspension, it's so comfortable, so smooth. They did a great job on the sound deadening material, the thickness of the glass, the acoustic windshield, and even with those off-road spec tires, still very wonderful on the interior. I just wish that the Ultimate trim had a nicer electric shifter for the 10-speed, and definitely metal paddles for the 10-speed as well. But driving this vehicle is so easy, so much easier than you think, because of all the great technology that the GMC engineers have brought into this vehicle. And then the fact that you're going to have some really good wheel travel to go off-roading, all of that great controllability really is going to allow you to be able to take this AT4 Ultimate wherever you want. Visibility is great, the digital rear view mirror, we got that panoramic sunroof. I mean, it is a nicely set up SUV. And of course, the magnetic ride really gives you a great planted feel. It's not real bouncy in here. You're not swaying all over the place like a rubber duck in a bathtub. It's just really, really well sorted. You could see where GM has put the work into this GMC Yukon and their other GM vehicles. On throttle, here we go. Drops down and we are off. Nice smooth shifts from the 10-speed automatic. Like I said, under braking, you're not getting a bunch of nosedive, which is wonderful. And then we're gonna turn into this left-hand bend here. Look at that. Even with this being an off-road spec on throttle. Here we go. Love the sound of that V8. And then you got that great towing capability, 8,200 pounds worth of towing. But this really lives up to its name, Ultimate, because you are having the ultimate SUV experience behind the wheel. But I hope that this has been a good overall review of what the Yukon AT4 Ultimate trim brings for 2025. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways with this Yukon AT4 Ultimate. Gotta thank everybody over at GMC for getting us access to this vehicle. Let me know what you think. For the moolah, is this worth the price to go all the way up to that Ultimate trim now available on the AT4? Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta get up to Stephen Flood. He's lean. I don't know if he's lean, but he's definitely mean, and he's bulking up. So watch out, everybody, because he is getting bigger by the day, muscle-wise. So thank you, Stephen, for bulking up. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.